Kelly came down to Miami. She visited me for about a week while I was recording my album. So I had her there for a while. And the very beginning stages I played for Michelle and Kelly, but they heard the majority of the record, and I always want to get their opinions because I completely respect them.
When the Knowles family settled their original differences with LaToya and Latavia, they might reasonably have assumed that that was the end of their dealings with them. But a clause inserted in their severance agreement had stipulated that there should be no public slagging off between any of the girls. After all, at the time that they were thrown out of the group, the two girls had everything to lose. They lacked Beyoncé's formidable talents as songwriter, actress, and all-round woman of destiny. Cruel though it might sound, what they had left, no one seemed to want. It had emerged that Matthew Knowles had wanted to add them to his guardianship role, as with Kelly. That would have made them legally, and possibly morally, bound to the Knowles household, and would have made it even more difficult for them to have any say in their lives. To add to this, they accused Matthew of refusing to disclose to them details of the financial earnings of the group. Then, in July 2002, a new grievance was aired. They had claimed that Beyoncé had gone against the terms of their agreement by criticising them publicly with a disrespectful phrase in the words to Survivor. "You thought that I'd be stressed without you, but I'm chillin'," she had sung. "You thought I wouldn't sell without you, sold 9 million. So, once again, Beyoncé found herself at the heart of a very public legal storm. Were these girls just never going to go away? In a television interview relating to the unfortunate incident, Beyoncé said she thought the legal claim against her was a bunch of bull. This was unfortunate in itself, as by saying that she had made yet another unflattering comment about them, and the whole thing threatened to escalate further. And yet more troubling demons came crawling out of the closet, as it emerged that the estate of Andretta Tillman, who'd been given such gracious name checks on the group's album sleeves, had also filed a lawsuit against Matthew Knowles for inappropriate financial dealings. Perhaps it was time for anyone who had ever had anything to do with Destiny's Child, or those who represented their interests after their death, to have a go at grabbing a share of the formidable amount of cash that had built up during the band's career. Or maybe all was not as it should have been at Destiny Central, with the accounts being creatively revised in favour of the Knowles family mafia. If the allegations were true, and Matthew had tried to withhold money from the woman who the group liked to sentimentally remember as their much-loved and dearly missed friend, then it all seemed like shoddy behaviour indeed. Meanwhile, Beyoncé had plenty more to think about. Solo projects within Destiny's Child were originally planned by Matthew to be released at appropriately staggered intervals, so that none of them would be competing with each other in the charts. Michelle had previously released her own album of gospel songs, and now it was to be Beyoncé's turn. Her song, Work It Out, produced by the Neptunes, was already available on the Goldmember soundtrack and was doing respectable business in its own right. But Kelly's collaboration with Nelly, entitled Dilemma, featured on the album Nellyville, was being given heavy airplay by enthusiastic radio DJs. Her debut album had not been planned for release until early 2003, but with the success of Dilemma, it made sense to bring the release date forward, and Matthew had scheduled it for release in October. By an unfortunate coincidence, that had also been the original release date for Beyoncé's first album, which was now pushed back to December. It seems you can't have everything, and it must have appeared as if Kelly stood a better chance of winning the battle with her virtual sister. This meant that Beyoncé, always assumed to be the natural winner in the Destiny camp, had to deal with her debut album released third in line to her colleagues in the group. Watching the living soap opera surrounding Beyoncé's life was becoming almost as much fun as her records.